with us? Okay, look at number 4. Four's a little different than what we've been doing all year, right? What's a little different about it? There's how many terms? If you follow your flow chart, what type of polynomial do we have? I have 4 terms. We never did 4 terms, did we? So we're going to what's called factor by grouping. And what we do is we group the first 2 terms and then the last 2 terms and factor out the greatest common. Well, I'll show you how to do this. Okay, what do we use for grouping? Parentheses, right? So I'm going to group the first 2 terms. Then I'm going to group the second 2 terms. And I'm going to factor out, I'm going to look at the first quantity here that I created. And can I factor out any common terms with the first quantity here? Yeah, I can factor out an x squared. And what do I have left over? Yeah, I have an x, and then I'm factoring out the x squared, so I just have a 2.
Now, do you get rid of the 5?
No, it's he separated it into different ways.
Yeah, this is another quantity. Now I'm gonna you see what I'm gonna do?
I am done.
Okay, so now I'm gonna work on this quantity. What can I factor out of this term and this term? Yeah, and we're gonna, because that's a plus sign, we're gonna go ahead and take that plus sign too. Okay, 5x divided by 5. 10 divided by 5. Do you notice something here? Yeah, they're the same quantities, right? So think of this as 2 terms, right? Just like one of these is 2 terms. Now I have 2 terms here. What can I take, ladies? What could I take out of these 2 terms? X minus 2. Okay, here's the little trick. Here's what I have for the other factor, what's left over. What do I have left over? That's it. X squared and the plus 5. There's my answer. I can't factor any further, so this is my answer. Pretty clever, huh? Not as hard as cubes, right?
I was just confused at first. Like, wait,
Yeah.
why is there another x minus 2 in there? If they're the same number, you don't do anything.
Yeah, if you chances are if you didn't get the same quantity here, you did something wrong. Yeah. All right, let's do another one of those.
Number 5.
Yep.
Wait, what happened to this?
What happened to what negative 10? This one?
Yeah.
We factored out a 5 and got negative 2. It's right here. Plus 5. Okay. Pay close attention this time. Okay, so I'm going to group the first 2 terms, and I'm going to group the second 2 terms. Looking at the first quantity here that I created, what can I take out as a common factor? Okay, what do I have left over? 2, let's see, yep, I need the 2, and I'm taking out 2 of the 3, so I have 2x. Or the x squares are canceling out, so I have the 3. Good job, Kalina. All right, the second quantity. What can I take out of both terms? Nothing. But I have to take something out.
I guess a negative.
So I'm going to take a 1 out, and because I have a negative sign there, I'm going to take out a negative.
Why you just take -2 out? You just go X.
Well, I can't take a negative 2 out of 3.
So it'll
I
be
can't
negative-
divide 3 by 2.
So it'll be just 2x plus 3.
There you go. Remember, because I've taken out a negative one, you have to change the signs here, so it's just 2x plus 3. And there's my same quantity, right?
And we add the, I guess, -1 and 2x into their own parentheses.
Okay, so I have 2x plus 3 and x squared minus 1. Am I done?
Yeah?
Look at this quantity. What do I have?
Oh, you have a negative.
Oh no.
I have a difference of squares, don't I?
Oh.
Okay, I have x squared, and 1 can always be 1 squared. It could be 1 cubed, 1 to the 4th, could be anything, right? So I'm actually going to end up here with 3 factors, right? So I have 2x plus 3. What's my a here? Careful. Yeah, 1. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm thinking of something else. You're right. X. What's my b? So I have x plus 1 and then x minus 1. So I actually ended up with 3 factors.
Oh. Well, we were supposed to do something more complicated.
No. Somebody doesn't know how to use the phone system. All right, number 6 looks complicated, right? I don't think it's so bad. What can I take out? What common factor term? An x, right? X cubed divided by x is 3x squared divided by x. And then 10x divided by x. Nothing I can take out anymore. So it's 3 terms. I'm going to go following my flow chart to guess and check, right? But x. Only one way to get x squared. X times x. See, factors of 10. 1 and 10. 2 and 5. We have a minus sign, so 1 has to be plus, 1 has to be negative. Yep, it has. We're going to use. So we're going to subtract, right?
And so -2 plus 5.
Yep. See how good you guys are getting at factoring? It only took us 6 months.
Not that bad.
Number 7. 625 is a perfect square. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite this as 16 is 4 squared. Now here's that x to the 4th. We got to do that little trick, right? X squared squared minus 25 squared. So my a is the base, what's being squared? The 4 and the x squared. Yep. So it's going to be 4x squared. And my b? So my factors, a plus b, so 4x squared plus 25.
And then -25.
Yep.
Right, please? This is just an overview right here. This is the question.
Well, this was new yesterday because we had that x to the 4th, right? The rest of it, it's review, you know. Am I done?
Oh no, there's different squares.
Yeah, there's another difference of squares in there.
Wait,
4
I'm
and
confused.
This is a difference of squares.
Okay, would that mean? So now you just got it.
Okay, I'm going to rewrite that so you can see it. I have 4x squared plus 25 times 2 squared x squared, and 25 is 5 squared. See how it's a difference of squares? So this time my a is what? Yep, what's being squared? 2x. Just the x. We don't have an x squared squared. And then my b is just the base 5. So I have my 4x squared plus 25.
Can't see.
Uh-oh. So I'm going to factor that to a plus b, 2x plus 5, and then 2x minus 5. And we're not going to do imaginary numbers, so we're going to leave this factor alone. So that one's a little tricky. You got to be a little careful. Some of these you got to really work hard at.
It's number 10.
So with the difference of squares, you would only do it to the last parentheses.
Not necessarily. Some people will put the minus here and the plus there. It all depends on, students can switch it out. Because it's multiplication, it doesn't matter if you put the plus quantity here or the minus quantity here. So you can't make a general rule about that. What you can make a general rule is, at this point, because we're not going to do imaginary numbers, you're only, when you have squared, difference of squares, you're only going to have the opportunity to factor out subtraction. But that's not true with cubes. Okay? Because cubes you can do plus and minus. All right, number 8. We'll have a little bit of time. Number 8. What can I factor out?
7.
Anything else?
7x.
And what do I have? Minus 100. 100 is 10 squared, right? So my a is x, and my b is the base 10, right? So I'm going to factor this to, don't forget your 7x, a plus b, a minus b. So if you didn't take out the 7x, it would have been a very long problem. Let's do cube. Let's do these two. This won't take long. All right, 64 is a perfect cube. It's 4 cubed x.
4x cubed.
Yep. Minus 2 cubed.
Or not 4x. 4x, which we're making. Okay.
Yep, my a is 4x is being cubed. My b, 2. Looking at my formula, I have a minus b. So 4x minus 2. And then I have a squared. So I have 4x squared plus a times b, so 4x times b, which is 2. And then plus b squared, which is 2 squared. Remember, you have to distribute that 2 to both of them. So I have 4x minus 2. And 4 squared is what? 16x squared. 2 times 4?
8x plus
That's 4. I could have taken out a common factor, couldn't I?
most likely, yeah.
Yeah, I could take out a 4 here. I'll do it. So I'm going to take out my 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4x squared. 8 divided by 4 is 2x. And then 4 divided by 4 is 1.
Is that really necessary to take out the 4?
I'm not going to count it wrong. And then the last one. 4 terms. Group. What can I take out of the first? Yeah, an x squared. And I'm left with x plus 5. And I'm going to take out, the only thing I can take out is a 1. That leaves me with the x plus 5. So my first factor is,
X plus 5,
and my second factor.
x squared plus 1.
And I don't have to worry about factoring it any further because a quadratic plus is going to be imaginary numbers. That's it for the notes.
Are you gonna do some work on